Hey guys, it's Nate and Britt from My Box on Wheels. This is our first video since we've been on our 6-month adventure starting June 30th. So it's been almost a month and a half. Just wanted to put out this video to let you guys know what's going on and how exciting the last couple days has been in particular. So we started off. Right now we're actually in Guatemala, but as of 3 days ago we were in Puebla, Mexico, heading to a different area more east of Puebla, Mexico.
Heading to the border.
Heading to the border to cross to Guatemala. And somewhere about 4 hours from the border we stopped for gas. And this green Volkswagen Bug with a very loud exhaust and motor pulled up next to us at the gas station and just started chatting with us. It was a fairly young couple in their 30s, and they were just asking about the van, and they were like, "Oh, what kind of car is this? What year is it?" And just they seemed like extremely interested, so we just started chatting away. It was around like 3-4 o'clock at that point. We were gonna probably drive maybe 1 or 2 more hours to park somewhere, and then we told them what we were doing. They were like, "Oh, well, you need to go see this statue of Christ. It's one of the most tallest statues in, the whole world."
It was a good option.
Yeah, so we started following them into their town, and they lived in the town. The whole area was called Chiapas, Mexico, but they lived up in the hilltop, whereas the bottom of the hill was Tuxtla, Mexico, and they didn't tell us they lived on top of this huge hill. It probably took it was 15 minutes of going uphill in second gear, not even third. It was pretty crazy how high we had to go up. Very windy.
Windy roads. They welcomed us with open arms.
Yeah, it was like...
made us fried fish the first night.
The first night we had fried fish, and it was awesome.
The next morning they wanted to make us cafe. They welcomed us into their home to shower. So it was really, really nice. And the next day they invited us to a soccer game or a football game.
Yeah, so the girl, she was part of some local club team. And then the whole soccer team was probably just a group of these crazy, so much fun women. Very charismatic, just outgoing and cheerful type people. And they were like, "Oh, come with us. We're going to this other soccer game," because one of the girls on the team were playing in a different league. And they just told us to get on the back of this huge pickup truck, and there was probably already 13 soccer girls on the back of this truck. They're like, come on. We're like, "No, it's okay." And it seemed like fun to me, not as much to her.
No.
So I was like, well, that looks like fun. I'm gonna go. If you want to come, you should. If not, there, the next, we stayed that night again, and the next day they had apparently once a year they have this Santa Maria.
That was the same night. It was the same day.
Santa Maria festival or party or whatnot.
They told us at 4 o'clock. Do you guys mind? We have a fiesta to go to tonight if you want to come.
Yeah.
So
we're like,
we
yeah,
just
sure.
figured it would be a party, but apparently it was this once a year event of Saint Mary or something.
It was a full moon. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Yeah, so we showed up. The whole soccer team was there.
The only person started from his house. They hired a mariachi band. And they walked from his house all the way up to this other community home, singing in the streets, lighting fireworks area where they gave some mass. So we gave mass. They served us tamales, which are awesome.
So the whole community ate together at this community.
Must have been
house.
50 people.
Yeah, they had people, these girls that were serving everyone, so it was like being at a restaurant. And then as soon as the food ended, this other band started playing.
They're like, "Bengan, bengan, bengan."
Yeah.
We just started
salsa, dancing all night long.
Yeah. The next day we it was Monday, so they had to go to work, and
we knew we were going to leave.
Yeah, we knew we were leaving that day, and we went back to the guy who we say was Leo. He's a mechanic. He brought us back to his shop, and he actually helped us put in a new radio into Anna, which works great right now. He fixed one of our speakers, so you know, it turned out awesome. We looked up campsites on iOverlander, which is a great app, by the way. I highly recommend anyone driving across country or overseas, anywhere. Like iOverlander has been our biggest help.
Biggest savior.
Yeah. So iOverlander led us to this campsite, which happened to have waterfalls. They were called Cascadas de la Novia, which means girlfriend's cascades. And we got there kind of late, so we overnighted there, and then the next morning around 8 we got up, put on our hiking boots, and we
were the first ones.
We were the first ones on the mountain. We went all the way up to the waterfall, took a bunch of pictures. I swam across the river to the other side, swam back.
It's zip line.
It's zip line, but we've done that before, so we're like, do that another time. Then from there, we went back. It was around 12 once we were done. We went back up. We went back to the car, got ready real quick, and we started heading to the border. At that point, we were 2 hours.
Yeah, we were gonna cross the border.
We were 2 hours from the border.
2 o'clock.
There was 2 routes. One of them said 13 minutes slower, and it seemed like there was a lot of speed bumps on that route, and the other one didn't. And the other one was faster. So we're like, oh, this is probably a toll road. Let's take this toll road. And it wasn't a toll road. It was actually a road you couldn't drive more than 15, 20 miles an hour. It was like off-roading.
Not paved. It was not paved.
It was paved like half of the way.
Yep.
And then the last 7 kilometers, it was unpaved. It was extremely treacherous. Couldn't drive too fast.
Rocky, potholes.
Yeah, it was
downhill, uphill, mud. It was a mess, but we were already too deep to turn around.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we're driving, and I just see like this glimpse of white, like from the driver's side, and I had to stop short because that glimpse of white was. They're sleeping right now. We'll show you them later, but
he says, "You're not going to believe this. Brittany, you're not going to believe what's right here." And so I peer over the driver's seat, and sure enough,
there was 2 puppies.
2 puppies.
One was on the road, which I almost hit, and if I didn't stop short, I would have smushed him. And I probably would have cried and been really sad.
This was like in the middle of nowhere in brush, like very thick brush woods.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There was a second puppy in the brush.
Where these puppies came from, or like where their mother was.
We looked to the left. We looked to the right. Like there was really no one. There was no like property. There was actually one property kind of close by, not really, and it looked abandoned. It was boarded up. Like there was nothing going on there. So we didn't really know what to do. We just kind of said, screw it. Like, you know, I'm not leaving these puppies here. Like, I don't know where their mother is. I don't know where their owner is. And getting acquainted with the way the culture is here as far as dogs, they don't really care about their dogs. They're really just street dogs. Some of them, they sleep within the property so that they protect it. Yeah. And others just, like, they roam the streets. And we've actually seen like probably half a dozen dead dogs like in the middle of the road, and like it's just really sad. And to see these 2 adorable little puppies just like on the side of the road, there was no chance I was leaving them behind. So
and they were not in the best condition. Reaction.
So we put Dawn in water, and we just washed them up. We dried them after we were drying. We just tried to pick as many bugs as we can.
But as soon as we left, we started the car to move with the puppies in the car. That ginormous snake slithered by.
I missed that part. Literally, where I saw the puppies, I must have drove maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and this big black snake just slithers across the road. I stopped short again, and I'm like, holy shit. Had we left those puppies, they probably would have got eaten by that snake. There was a security checkpoint. and we knew we were gonna have issues with bringing the puppies through. But they were pretty chill puppies. Like, they didn't really bark or anything.
They're too little.
They're very little. So luckily we have these.
I have the man up in the front of the car,
Yeah.
rifling through everything, like all of our bathroom stuff. He wanted to see our gel, look inside the gel, the hair gel that you had, look inside our snack boxes, everything. And the dogs start crying.
Yeah.
So I'm like making all of these noises, trying to distract the guy from looking in the bucket. But I just kept on saying, do you want to see this? Do you want to see this?
Yeah.
Do you want to
she
see
did
this?
a good job of distracting him. I distracted him. They started saying, well, you need to get out of the car. We need to, they need to spray some chemical inside the car. I didn't really know what it was about. So I got out of the car. She stayed in it. She tried trying to like hide the puppy. No, I told him like put the puppies in a sack. We had a sack with like our dirty clothes. So put the puppies in the sack and just carry it with you like out of the car. Did that. She went out of the car, and then Brittany just started walking away from the border while I took care of the guys that were, you know. At one point, the guy was like, do you have any animals in the car? And I had assumed that he saw the puppies. So I put on my Spanglish again and just pretended like I had no idea what he was talking about. I didn't speak much Spanish. I'm like, yo no sé, Joe, whatever. And then some other guy came, and he started saying, like, food, you have food, like food. And I'm like, oh, comida. He's like, yeah. I'm like, we have dried food in cans, comida seca, like whatever, and just stuff like that. And he's like, okay, whatever. And then the other guy kind of just said whatever. So they fumigated the van, and outside they sprayed some stuff around the tires. I don't know what it was.
Meanwhile, I'm outside with the dogs in a bag, and the dogs are pushing the bag, pounding the bag, and I feel like everyone walked, because it was a crowded street. Everyone's looking at me like they know something's alive in that bag. Yeah. But I just kept on shh until he was done, when you were able to pull up.
So here we are now.
Our first night with the puppies.
We apologize we didn't get any videos out there from our other nights of our trip. It just seemed like the last couple events definitely merited a video for what's been going on. And I don't know what else. We'll keep posting pictures. I hope you guys like them. If we don't post, it's either because we don't have service, or we're just busy having fun. We try not to keep our phones on us all the time, or our cameras. We kind of try to enjoy the moment as much as we can. And other than that, everything's been pretty safe and chill, and living the van's been pretty cool. It just gets hot sometimes at night. But
I think there's a lot that we could speak more about in other videos.
Yeah, we'll probably talk a little bit more about some other in some other videos. Other than that, and then tomorrow we're heading to Guatemala City, so we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
Again, Britt and Nate from My Box on Wheels. So.